gave you an initial quick training before you start teaching. Sally the Snake. It's Sally the Snake's lunchtime, and Sally the Snake only likes to eat notes. She eats a black note. That's called a crotchet. That's only one beat. She eats an empty stomach note. That's called a minim. It's got 2 beats. She eats an empty stomach note with a dot next to it. That's 3 beats. And she eats a big fat semi-brave like a couch potato. It sits down for 4 beats. And then you just get the student to put these dashes for how many beats are underneath all of them. They then add up all the dashes. What's the total amount of beats that Sally the Snake ate today? And they put the answer in. And then you can say something funny. Oh, she ate so much she turned into a caterpillar because of all the dashes. You know, tucking a joke will do wonders for building a relationship. But you can alternate this to be harder. Okay, so you can say, you can say now, Sally the Snake has multiple stomachs and she can only digest 4 beats at a time in each stomach. Can you put a line where that one stomach should start and finish? Or these ones aren't really adding up. You can even add quavers to make it more hard. So as the student grows with you over time, they're going to get more skilled. The game has to get a bit harder. Be creative.
There's another addition I do to it. I add in rests when they learn rests, and I make rests equal negative numbers, so they actually get practice with using the rests and stuff as well. So I think they enjoy that as well, and then they just have to, if they're good at numbers, it doesn't even matter, just so that they know the rest lengths as well.
Very good. Thank you so much, Sarah. I forgot about it. I actually haven't thought about rests or a way of teaching them to include to today, but now I realise everyone probably needs this. Okay. We can say the squiggly line, and you say it's just one count. These 2 are the hardest for kids to remember, I've found. This one I call a top hat rest, because it looks like a top hat, and I go T is for top hat, T is for 2 hands I'm putting up. T is for top hat, T is for 2. T is, and I get them to do the movement and do it twice. Once against kinesthetic learning. This one, I call him sticking his tongue out rest. He's saying, I'm not doing any work for the whole bar. Okay? It's the resting for the whole bar, guys. Sticking his tongue out, not going to do any work. Alright, so that helps you with those. Another game.
Can I just say another thing I use to help remember the rest is the one that you hold for 2, it's light so it can stay on top of the line, but the one that you hold for 4, it's heavy so it fell off the line. That's what I do, because then they,
And so the one that's 4 beats, I say it's like a glass ball that's hanging up and it's still like a good ball, like it's full. And then when it falls down, it breaks in half.
Oh, very good. I get it.
Yeah.
So the semi-brave breaking into 2 minims.
Yes. And then so when it's like 4, like the breathe, it's still hanging up there.
Yes.
So you have to hold it like it's just for 4. And then when it falls down, it breaks into 2 parts. So it's only half of that. So it's only 2.
That's very good.
But I think it's good to have different
ways,
ways. And then if they don't get the one way, then you can use the other one. So what you said, I like that.
I think that's probably the best point to take away today.
Yeah.
What Justin just said. When they don't get one, have backup.
Yeah.
So use a visual learning thing. If that doesn't work, tell a story. Like that. And if that doesn't work, if they're oral, give them a rhyme. They'll remember the rhyme. If that doesn't work, then you just try an error, mix and match. That's probably the best point to take away today. turning around, pad back up. Okay, so another game is the major or minor game. So this is a nice relaxing one for the end of term, because kids have just had it. So you can spend time, chew up time doing this. Is it major or minor? Does it sound happy or sad? Good, major. And you can actually, on your piece of paper, have a happy face or a smiley face. And they have to flip up the smiley face and say major, or they have to flip up the sad thing. And major and minor game. So I'd say major, minor. Okay. Last but not least is a bit of note naming games. Okay, so this is just like note naming Pictionary. You put maybe that and you go name these notes. Or you cannot have the pictures and tell them name the notes and then draw a picture that corresponds to them. Then they're actually getting literacy skills, not just guessing. So there's a few you can do. I'm just going to quickly write up some words that work with staves. So bag, baggage. I don't know if you want to write them. You probably remember them, to be honest. You're very photographic everything. Bag, baggage, bad, bed, dad, cabbage, age, fade, face. So you just put the notes and they name them. It's a good literacy skill. Okay, so that's all games. So last of all, so tell a story if you can. If you're teaching dynamics and a kid's going into an exam, they need to memorise the dynamic. If they want to get an A, they need to have good tempo, consistent tempo, and dynamic. You won't get an A without those two these days with A and B. So to help them memorise the dynamic enough that even under nerves, they're going to be able to do it, I usually tell a story. So I say, if it was James Bond, I'm teaching the James Bond scene, I'm saying to him at the beginning, he's going up mountains with a crescendo and down the mountains and up mountains with a deep crescendo. But then he's creeping and it's down a mezzo piano and he's being sneaky. And I associate a story and movement with the dynamic. They go on there and they do it. Okay, to be animated. Don't be afraid to look silly like I just did.